At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. Happy Monday morning to you. Hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day. I know some people like to get out there and celebrate. Corned beef and cabbage. I know that's the big menu item. Of course, I didn't really necessarily celebrate myself, but I did celebrate the awesome, beautiful weather that we did see. Of course, I'll share some pictures of my adventure from yesterday a little bit later. And of course, my son, his track meet was on Saturday. We're going to do some proud father moments. But let's get into the headlines. And we do expect to see above average highs to start off your work week, with the weather pattern slowly changing this week. You know, the warmer weather we're experiencing now, it's not going to last forever. We actually do have a cooling trend in store for us. Showers, cooler by the end of the week. Snow levels, too, are going to be fairly low. I'm expecting to see at the ski park, Mount Shasta Ski Park, some good snow as we go into, in particular, this weekend and even into early parts of next week. Let's go and take a look at our temperatures we saw yesterday. Look at the highs. Now, remember last week I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if some of us did touch 80 degrees and we were flirting with the 80s. We didn't just flirt with the 80s in some spots here. We just went full on out and asked the 80s to go out on a date. 85 degrees for Redding was the high yesterday. 85. Now, of course, those temperatures are a bit cooler heading southward only. And I say only because you're talking about a 10-degree difference there from Redding to Chico. 75 in Chico yesterday, 74 in Oroville. And how about the mountains? I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. 77 degrees out in Weaverville, 74 for Hayfork. Hoopa, about 76, of course, much cooler on the coast. 57 out in Eureka, 66 degrees for a high yesterday in Alturas, 64 degrees in Susanville. Now, right now, of course, the temperatures have dropped. We're in the mid to upper 40s in the valley, although a little bit warmer out in Chico and Oroville in the low 50s. But look at Alturas, a chilly 20s, 5 degrees this morning, 34 in Susanville, 28 for both Chester and Bernie. Take you off to the west. There you can see about 41 in Hoopa and 48 degrees in Eureka. Take a look at the visibility out there. Now, what's interesting is we are seeing some fog out along the coast here, and we can take a look at the satellite image here, and you can see some of that fog kind of along the Highway 101 corridor there from Eureka down to just north of Garberville. We're seeing some of that fog out there this morning. Of course, you head up the coast. There are a few spots here along the coast that aren't quite as foggy, but there is some fog this morning out along the coast. Crescent City, it looks like you're around Eureka, not to mention in some of those inland areas as well. We take a look at Futurecast and show you what that fog is expected to do here. It may retreat a little bit. I think we could see some sunshine here later on today for parts of the coast here. And then we take you into your Tuesday. That fog really will kind of start to move itself back on. And I do expect more foggy and more cloudy conditions here for your Tuesday. And that'll probably linger on into your Wednesday as well. There's a look at Crescent City right now at Harbor District. It doesn't look like the visibility is very low. There's some low clouds out there, which is what you saw there on the satellite image. But you can see the visibility, those clouds haven't really made their way to the surface. So as a result, the visibility is actually not all that bad out there. But there is going to be some patchy, dense fog out there, especially if you do need to be out on a boat. I want to show you out. This is just, again, kind of closer to the coast here. This is out in just north of Trinidad. Of course, you can see we do have those, again, overcast skies. You can't really see it here, but at least it doesn't look like we're seeing very dense fog out in that area. All right, we take you back to Main Street in Chico in the valley. Of course, no fog here. We're going to be looking at those clear skies out there this morning and another beautiful spring-like day, because spring's not officially here until tomorrow evening, as a matter of fact. There you can see Highway 99 at Neal Road. Traffic is flowing smoothly there. And we take you out to Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44. There you can see off in the distance, the sun is, boy, just coming up, that beautiful time of the day where you get that nice silhouette of the mountains in our area. But yeah, that sun is coming on up, and we're going to be looking at that in the next hour or so. Let's take a look at the temperatures out there for today for Trinity County. Well, temperatures mid to upper 70s for your daytime highs. But look at this. Remember that change I was talking about, a slow change. We're going to gradually see our temperatures drop and then eventually see a chance for some rain in the forecast. Some models indicating as early as Thursday, but as it stands right now, I'm expecting more like Friday and into the weekend. 69 for Wildwood, 72 degrees for Forest Glen and Ruth. We take out to the north coast in southern Humboldt County with Garberville, a high of 76. How about Shelter Cove? About 59 degrees. Honeydew, about 67. And 73 degrees in Redcrest. Take out to Ferndale, Fortuna, Hydesville, and not to mention Rio Dell. Upper 50s to low 60s there with a chance for showers late this week. 56 in Arcata, 63 for Blue Lake and Willow Creek, Hoopa. You could touch that 80-degree mark here for today. Orleans will with a high of 80, 66 in Gas Key, 58 degrees in Crescent City. In Oric, about 61 degrees. Let's take you out to Siskiyou County, western Siskiyou County, as a matter of fact. And there you can see Happy Camp, about 77. Sayed Valley, about 76. And along the I-5 corridor, Hornbrook, 76. Wairika, 73. And there's Gazelle with a high of about 72. Scott Valley, there you can see temperatures right around 70, give or take. Winds from the south at about 3 miles per hour. Let's take out to central and eastern Siskiyou County, where you can see temperatures there, mainly in the upper 60s to low 70s. Some of those higher elevations, like Tennant, for example, about 65 degrees for today. Modoc County, well, there you can see Newell, about 67 to 68 degrees for El Terce. A bit cooler in Cedarville at about 61 and 63 for Fort Bidwell. And for your eastern mountains, temperatures there are going to be in the 70s for many locations. But for example, Shingletown, 3,500 feet, 73. Viola, up at over 4,000 feet, now you're talking 67 degrees. So yeah, you start getting in those higher elevations, temperatures start to drop. Old Station, 64. Hat Creek, about 71. How about Lake Almanor? Temperatures there in the mid to upper 60s. Chester, about 68. But out towards Westwood, a little bit cooler at about 61. And out towards Lassen Park, obviously much cooler there. Upper 50s, upper 50s for places like Manzanita Lake, but South Entrance probably a little more like the mid 50s. You can see Mineral about 65, Paradise beautiful, the high of about 70 degrees today. Quincy 71 degrees, and how about Portola, the high of 60. There's your Valley neighborhood forecast. Of course, those temperatures in the upper 70s for places like Durham, Chico, but Orland 81, 84 for Red Bluff. 86 in Redding and Anderson, 84 for Cottonwood, 85 at Palo Cedro and Lakehead, a high of 79. Who's calling in sick today? I mean, come on. These temperatures are gorgeous. Now, the first day of spring is on Tuesday, although it will occur tomorrow evening. So really the first full day of spring is going to be on Wednesday, and it's still going to feel like it. But see how the temperatures are dropping? We're going to see about a 10-degree drop from today to tomorrow, and about a 5-degree drop from Tuesday to Wednesday. And temperatures continue to drop. We're in the 60s by Friday and through the weekend. And yes, we get a chance for showers entering the forecast as well. Of course, as you know, today is Monday, and this is when we run our Turtle Bay segment. And it's a Wonderful World of Animals, sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. Today we meet Krueger. Now, we've met Krueger before, the Turaco, but Sharon really teaches us about different aspects of a bird that you can look at, such as the claws and the feathers, and you can determine what kind of bird it is from there. So once again, we take you to your Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. We've got Sharon Clay from Turtle Bay, and we've got, give me a second, Krueger the Turaco.
Yes, you nailed it.
Yes.
Nailed it. Took him like 10 tries.
I know.
You got it. You got it. That's great. That's really good. So that is correct. And she is a bird from Africa.
Africa. Well, I mean, the colors are a big reason why, right?
Well, the colors tell you what habitat she lives in, but not necessarily like Africa, Asia, South America colors. So when we look at a bird, we can tell everything about them by looking at their beak, their feet, and their feathers.
Okay.
Everything. You can tell what they eat, where they live, the type of habitat they're in, all of that stuff just by looking at them. So for example, if you look at a bird that has feathers going all the way down its feet, it's going to live in a colder climate. You have one that has bare legs like this, they're going to live in a warmer climate. So looking at those legs, looking at her colors, brightly colored, more rainforesty versus a brown. Now your browns can vary. Maybe you have a light brown like for the desert, but maybe you have a brown with all the speckles all over it for living in the forest. So you're going to have birds that blend in that way. So looking at a bird's feathers, you can tell a lot about what habitat they're going to live in.
So this is kind of interesting because you look at, and of course, just the feathers and the feet. What about the beak? Has a big part of it as well, right?
The beak too. So the beak's going to tell you like what they eat. You're going to say, oh, so if you look at her beak, she has this teeny little, soft little nothing beak, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Krueger, but you know.
But it's still special.
It is very special because she eats berries. So these are berry eaters. So this beak is not strong. She could not hurt you if she wanted to with her beak. It's a soft little beak just used for picking berries.
What if she like just started gouging in my eyes?
I think only if your eye looked like a berry would you have a problem with it. So you can tell. Gosh, why do I do this?
I know.
So these guys, now I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. That's okay.
You.
So that's really important, those beaks. So like if you look at like a raptor beak, it's going to be curved and sharp for tearing. You look at a bird like a heron, they've got that long spear beak. That's for spearing fish. Or a probing beak like a raven. So you look at any bird with that shaped beak, you're going to know they have a probing beak. So like a woodpecker has the same type of beak as a raven does. So, or a crow, because they're going to probe into things to eat, probably insects. So, and things like that. So just looking at their beak can tell you like what they eat and how they find their food.
Okay.
So much about a bird.
Yeah.
Their feet are the last one we look at, really important with them, is look at her feet. Nice little flat feet.
Yeah.
So if you have curved, sharp feet, you're like a raptor, it's for grasping, right? If you have flat feet like a turkey or a quail, they run on the ground.
And the webbed feet?
Webbed feet for water.
Yeah.
What if they're partially webbed?
Then that means they're a hybrid, and they're more like on the ground or like land.
Yeah, they're gonna be
sometimes
like
in the water,
like marshy areas or
I call it
hybrid. Hybrid, you know, that's fine. But they're gonna live like in those marshy areas. So just looking at the feet, you can tell what habitat they're going to live in. So looking at her feet, where does she live in, or how does she move around?
She moves around like on the trees and stuff. So and flat.
Flat. So she actually runs along the branches. Okay. So that's my next hint for you. If she has a relative right here in North America, she's from Africa, she is related to an animal, a bird found here. Make her bigger and turn her brown with those flat feet, and instead of running on the branches, runs on the ground.
Runs on the ground. Or road runner.
A road runner. And that's their closest relative. So you can tell a lot about a bird by looking at the beak, the feet, and the feathers.
How fun was that? A lot of great information. So next time you're out birding, take a look at all those three things and see if you can learn and discover new things about these birds. Well, Krueger.
Yeah.
I was going to say Taraka or whatever, something like that. I don't know. Krueger, thank you for being here for a great lesson. Thank you for the wonderful lesson as well. And we will see you next time on Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Always fun as usual. Of course, a Krueger, just kind of one of those birds that loves to hang out, not really afraid of a lot of people, including myself. So it was kind of funny. It was a little startling very quickly, just right there on my shoulder. So that was kind of fun, though. But yeah, interesting to kind of learn about. You look at the different features on the bird, and you can figure out what kind of lifestyle they live, right? So the feathers and the claws and their beaks, what kind of what they eat. And what they need to use with those claws. So kind of interesting. I thought that was really interesting here. Well, of course, today is Monday. You're probably getting ready to get out in the workday. Of course, as you know, what I'm doing now is at the very top of Coffee with Krueger. I just do kind of a quick rundown of what's happening today. So if you're just kind of in a hurry, you can get that forecast real quickly. Then, of course, we go into any special segments that we may have, which we just watched Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, and then we kind of have a little bit of fun. And we talk, kind of chat it up a little bit, see what everybody's up to today. And then, of course, we go into a more of a deeper dive type forecast, which we'll get into that here in just a bit. So I want to say good morning to everyone. And I thought this was great. Lisa, you were the first one to comment this morning, and you said, good morning, everyone. So she's saying good morning to all of you that are watching this morning. So I thought that was really neat. Stephanie's saying, we're in fake spring. All the poor plants are so confused. I'm sure they are. And you know what? It's just gorgeous out there, right? I mean, we're seeing a lot of the plants and the trees beginning to start to bloom. Not a ton. I was out over the weekend, and I didn't really see a ton of, plants and, wildflowers or anything like that. So looks like we're okay there because we're going to start to see things kind of change up here later on this week here. Good morning from everybody. Looks like KCK giving in his regular report for clear and calm in Shingletown this morning. Of course, no rain. It hasn't been raining for the last several days here. Good afternoon to you, Jim and Debbie. Good morning. Do you say good afternoon? Hey, to each their own. Good morning, Mike. Have a great day. Thank you, Bill. Good morning from Palisadro. Very cool bird facts to remember, Lisa. Yeah, you are right. That is really cool out there. So my question to you is, what do you have planned for the day? I know, of course, we had the weekend. Did you do anything fun over the weekend? Let me know. And I was hoping maybe some of you would share some of your pictures from this weekend because I had a great weekend. I had an amazing weekend. I want to show you a couple of pictures here, or several. I've got quite a slideshow here that I want to show you because it was an exciting weekend both days. First and foremost, my son had his first track meet on Saturday. And, he's probably going to, he doesn't seem to get too upset about me kind of sharing this type of stuff about him. But so last week, his mile, so he runs the mile and will also be running the 2 mile. So he's more of a long distance runner. And about a week ago, in fact, about 2 weeks ago, his fastest mile time was about 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Then about a week ago, his fastest mile time, he broke that record, or he broke his record and dropped 15 seconds. So 6 minutes and 15 seconds to the mile. Well, he had his first track meet on Saturday. He dropped another 30 seconds from his mile. So his 30-second mile was, his mile was 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Kind of hard to see on this image here. In fact, it's really hard to see. Now that I'm kind of looking at it myself. But he's the third one down there, and it says Krueger, Shasta High School, at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. So he didn't know. Then he comes up to me a little after the race. I said, hey, by the way, did you see your time? He says, no. I said, you got 5 minutes, 45 seconds. And his eyes are wide open. It was amazing. Now, the next day, on Saturday, my wife, Nessie, and I, we went to a place called Potom Falls. And what I wanted to do, and I meant to do this, but Potom Falls is off of Highway 299. And I can't remember exactly the road. I'd have to remember, but it's kind of off the beaten path. The road is not a good road. You got to make sure that you have a durable car. Let's just kind of put it that way. And you got to drive slowly if you don't have a very durable car because there are a lot of potholes on the dirt road. And it's a very dry dirt road. Kind of give you an idea of what our car looked like after it's about 6 miles in from Highway 299. And it turns into a dirt road about 2.5 miles in, and then it's dirt road from there. And you can see all the dirt, dust collecting on the back of the car there. So it was very dusty and dirty, but look at that. Fender Ferry Road, thank you, Sandra. So it's off, so you're going 299, and you turn left on Fender Ferry Road. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is that there's this statue of a horse. It's like a bronze statue of a big horse, kind of up on its 2 hind legs. And there's a house kind of a little run down, and it's for sale on that property. But you turn left there, and you'll go under some power lines. There's kind of a little power line, power grid area. But you pass that, and you just keep going. It's 6 miles approximately from Highway 299. So there you go. This is Potom Falls. It's a very short hike. Now, I will say this. There were some people asking, oh, can you bring your walker? This is not, even though it's a short hike, it's a pretty battered up trail. So a lot of rocks and a lot of edges where you could fall off the ledge. It's not terribly dangerous, let's put it that way. But, I wouldn't recommend anyone who has to use a walker to go down this trail. But look at that. It was picture perfect too. We had the perfect angle of the sun where anywhere we looked at that waterfall, there was a rainbow. So it was magical. Look at Nessie. She was loving it. Tongue hanging out. She could not stop getting in the water. She was having such a great time running around and barking, and we're throwing sticks in there to try to get her in the water. She plays it safe. She doesn't go too far where she doesn't think it's safe, but she gets in the water. And look at that. There you can see again, there's actually a double rainbow there. Kind of look at the bottom there, and then of course above that. This is outside of Potom Falls. There was another place we wanted to go. I think it was called Hatchet Creek Falls or Hatch Creek Falls. We couldn't for the life of us find it. So this is a back road that we ended up on. And we turned the corner, and it was like, this picture doesn't do it justice, but it was just angels were singing when we turned the corner, right? I mean, Mount Shasta, you've got the snow-capped mountains. It was absolutely gorgeous. And there you can see just a couple of those high clouds. So if you want to share your photos, I highly recommend it. It doesn't have to be inclement weather. It doesn't have to be, stormy. It can be just a beautiful picture you want to share. Sunrise, sunset, if you went on a nice hike, some pictures from your hike. Let us know where you are. Let us know the location. And if it is a sunrise or sunset, let me know if it's a sunrise or a sunset, because sometimes you just don't know. But we love your pictures, and I want everyone to see your pictures. So you can share your photos from the free Weather NorCal app, and it's very easy to do that. So check that out. So yes, Fender Ferry Road, that's where you kind of turn off to get to Potom Falls. Gorgeous, gorgeous waterfall. Of course, it was flowing like crazy because of all the water that we've had here. Good morning from Nick. And Sandra saying he used to swim there. I hope it was probably in the middle of the summer, because my wife put her feet in the water and her feet almost fell off. The water was really cold, at least according to her. I know for me, I probably would have been said it was even colder than she is, because I can't handle water temperatures that are below 80 degrees. Right? So the water was very cold. And this is kind of that friendly reminder. As we get into the spring season, a lot of people, as we start getting the warmer temperatures, a lot of people are going on the hikes with water, right? And you think, oh, I'm going to, take a dip in the water, take a quick dive. Water, as you know, at this time of the year is very, very cold, because it's a lot of snow melt. So it's like taking an ice cube and just melting it and then running downstream. And it's very cold and can be very dangerous. Hypothermia, right? So of course we'll be talking about that in more detail as we get into the details of that. But yeah, Sandra's saying you should swim there. Yeah, again, hopefully in the summer, because it gets pretty cold. Lisa asking, how far away is it from Redding? I mean, it was over an hour away dry, because again, you have to drive so slowly once you get on the road. But I mean, you don't quite make it to Montgomery Creek. Fender Ferry Road is not quite there at Montgomery Creek. So I don't remember exactly how many miles, like 30 miles or something like that. Not very far on Highway 299. And then, of course, you make that left turn. And we had it to ourselves for a short while, and then there were some people hiking when we were hiking back up to leave. And then on the drive back, we probably saw about 2 cars. So it's kind of, like I say, it's off the beaten path. It's kind of a long distance. And like I say, if you don't like driving on dirt roads that are not in such great shape, it's not a good road to drive on. So there you go. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I really enjoyed that trip, and I hope everybody has an opportunity. Maybe some people have these bucket lists. That's definitely one of those. That's awesome to check out. But again, you got to make sure that you're not on a walker, because again, the trail it's maintained, but it's definitely one of those where it's got a few rough spots in there. All right, we'll tell you what. Let's get into our deeper dive forecast, because we got some forecasting to do here and get you kind of going on here. Of course, you got that forecast a little bit sooner here, but of course, before we get to the deeper dive forecast, we need to mention our sponsor, and that's Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. All right, let's go and take a look at the temperatures out there right now, and you can see it's not too terribly cold, although it is pretty cold in many of the higher elevations. Altura is about 25 degrees, Bernie 28, as well as Chester. There you can see in the valley those temperatures in the upper 40s to about 50, although a little bit cooler south of Reading. Should be in the mid-40s there, about 45 for Corning, 45 in Willows, and 46 for Red Bluff. Upper 40s to about 50 out along the coast. So here's your headlines. I'm expecting above average highs to start the week. Should be another beautiful, warm, spring-like day. Not officially spring, by the way, until tomorrow evening. Now, the weather pattern will slowly change this week with showers and cooler by the end of the week, and then snow levels dropping to as low, quite honestly, probably around 3,000 feet and lower this weekend. So that's good news if you still want to get in some good skiing here in the next couple of weeks here at the Mount Shasta Ski Park. I think it's going to be really good to get that snow in there, especially after these warm temperatures. They're probably starting to get kind of slushy out there. It'll make that snow melting, especially during the day. But like I said, as temperatures start to drop and we see the potential for snow, that conditions should get better up there. Big ridge of high pressure that's in place, that's what's giving us the sunny skies for most of us. Again, we're seeing that fog along parts of the coast here this morning, and we'll see more fog in the next few days. But I want to show you, this is the ridge of high pressure I was talking about. There's an area of low pressure there, but you see the storm systems, it's fairly active over the Pacific. But the reason why we haven't been able to see any of that rain from those storm systems is because they're butting up against this ridge of high pressure, and the energy gets pushed up to the north. So if you look at this storm system, look what happens to it. It actually dives to the south and then kind of butts up against that ridge. The ridge starts to shift a little bit more to the south, so temperatures start to drop tomorrow, but still above normal temperatures. Then that storm system, see how it rides up to the north over that ridge of high pressure. So that's the reason why we're going to be looking at those dry conditions. However, that warmer air in that ridge continues to dive down to the south, and by Friday of this week, we've got the next storm system finally able to push through because the ridge is gone. Now it will push through. Now, there are some models as early as Thursday and even indications as early as Wednesday. But for now, I'm going to keep the chance for rain here really not arriving until Friday with this cooler air moving in. And then we go into your Saturday, Sunday. That area of low pressure actually dives down to the south. And you see some of that colder air moving in. So snow levels, as I mentioned, probably around 3,000 feet. I don't expect it to get much lower than that, probably 3,000 to 4,000 feet. But there you can see, of course, the showers that are moving in associated with that as well. That then dives down to the south. We'll probably see a slight break, maybe a few scattered showers here and there for Monday, Tuesday of next week. And then this is next Wednesday. Now, it looks fairly impressive. This, if it pans out as you see here, this is a week from this upcoming Wednesday that we're looking at. This is March 27th that we're looking at. You can see the rain and, of course, the snow in the Sierra. This is good. We're going to get still more snow to add to the snowpack, right? We're going to get more rain in there as well. But look at these isobars. See these lines? We could be looking at some gusty winds associated with this storm system as well. So, I mean, we're not off the hook yet. We still got some storm systems that potentially could be making their way here. Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're going over a week from now, right? So this is the timing, the intensity of what we're seeing here is going to change. If it even holds on to itself, we'll see. But the bottom line is this. The long range is showing, and the Climate Prediction Center is predicting this as well, from March 24th to the end of the month, that is, you can still see that we're within that above normal category. However, if you notice, I mean, we're in those lighter shades of green right here. So, you know, yeah, there is that slim chance of seeing above normal rainfall. But bottom line, when we see something like this, we can say, hey, you know what? At least we've got some rain in the long range. But on top of that, these warm temperatures we're experiencing, that's coming to an end. We're going to see those temperatures drop again and possibly dropping below normal as we go into the long range, as early as getting later this week. All right, so we switch gears. We talk about the wave heights, and there you can see about 6 to 7 feet. They increase just a little bit for your Tuesday, but it shouldn't be all that noticeable, shouldn't be that bad. Here's a marine forecast. Patchy dense fog, that's going to be the biggest concern here for especially this morning, but you know, along the coast, we're going to see that kind of start to dissipate, but we may still see a lot of that fog here. Not too far off the coast here. South winds at 5 to 10 knots, and of course your sunrise and your sunset for today. All right, let's go and take a look at your temperatures for today. I do expect those temperatures mainly in the mid 80s northward and in the low 80s as you head to the south for the valley. For the mountains, we're in the 60s and 70s. Mid to upper 70s for Trinity County, upper 70s for the inland areas, but cooler along the coast with upper 50s to low 60s there. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook region by region. Of course, we can take a look at the valley. As you can see, temperatures just gradually dropping, but we're going from 86 today in Reading down to 62 degrees by Friday. So again, that's that gradual drop in the temperatures. Now, not quite as warm as you head south towards Red Bluff and Chico, but still most likely at least 80 degrees, right? We take a look at your 7-day outlook for the North Coast. Dry through Thursday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. I think we'll see more fog, especially going into Tuesday and Wednesday for the coast. And there you can see Weaverville, temperatures also gradually dropping. And taking a look at your forecast for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. Of course, there's a snow levels down to about 4,000 feet on Saturday, 3,000 feet by Sunday. So again, snow levels starting off fairly high on Friday, around 5,000 feet, but they'll drop down to about 3,000 to 4,000 feet by Saturday and Sunday. All right, folks. Well, that is a look at your forecast here. Hopefully you had yourself a great weekend. Hopefully you all have yourselves a great day. I am thrilled that we've got some more beautiful weather. And I'm wondering just how many people, with the combination of the beautiful weather and, of course, the fact that yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and I know a lot of people like to partake in several beverages, just to say politely, and maybe need to call in sick. I don't know. I don't particularly celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Of course, my wife and I were wearing green yesterday. Honestly, I put on my outfit yesterday, and it happened to be green, but it wasn't intentional. That was kind of interesting. And you see behind me green. Well, of course, that's just because I've got the green screen, but that's from St. Patrick's Day. It was yesterday. So there you have it, folks. That is your forecast. Let's take a look at let's see if any of the cameras here are showing anything good. Let's see if Oroville. Oh, yeah, there's Lake Oroville. Take a look at that. So I'm going to leave you some cameras here this morning so you can see what's going on around there. We're not looking at much in the way of fog out there this morning, but that, I think, of course, we're actually seeing some fog in the coast, obviously not in the valley. So that is the Coffee with Krueger. Hopefully you had a good cup of coffee. Hopefully it's still warm for you as we kind of wrap things up this morning. And we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Until then, have yourselves a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow.